Hello, guys, and welcome to Charjr Ryuki's Reviews on Fire. Today, I would like to, after watching the first episode and reading at least 3 chapters of the manga, Goblin Slayer. Now, for those who don't know or have seen it, or haven't seen it, I should say, Goblin Slayer is very dark. I mean, it pretty much proved that on the very first episode. And and I'm pretty sure there's people reading the manga as well. But there's also going to be people who really won't like this, both anime fans and non-anime fans, when they hear about it. And people have already talked about it quite a bit, but the thing is, they want you to know how dark this Goblin Slayer anime is. They want to prove that, and they proved that with the first episode. Yeah, the one scene where the new adventurers being arrogant. Yeah. Let's just think of you as an adventurer or a swordsman in SAO, or Sword Art Online. When you're going out adventuring, whether with your a rookie group or whatever. SAO didn't really hit, the dark meter. There have been some times where things were messed up, but it wasn't like Goblin Slayer is just after watching the first episode and looking at the 3 first chapters of the manga. Despite how dark it is, it's a really good anime. And I would like to see I would like to see its ending. I would really like to see it. The reason why I'm not going into detail, I might lay some hints out here and there, but just little small pieces, but I'm not going to be spoiling anything. It's just what you gotta understand is there's things in some anime that uh, aren't even in the manga, or are in the manga but yet not in the anime. Here you pretty much see basically everything. It literally is almost to a T from the first episode, the first chapter of the manga, and obviously the second episode would be exactly like or like almost exactly as chapter 2 of the manga would be exactly the same, in my opinion. Just for the first episode alone, I would. This is just my thoughts of Goblin Slayer more than anything. Just for the first episode alone, I would definitely give Goblin Slayer 9 out of 10 for the first episode. If I was just immediately a 9 out of 10. And yeah, there's a certain scene in there. A certain scene. Extremely dark. That's shamed upon when talked about. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It, if you think about it in that way, as creepy, as horrible as it is, you gotta expect that some stuff that does happen. And it does happen in the real world. And yeah, it pisses me off too. But if we had, just like this anime, they have a Goblin Slayer, a warrior who does nothing but kill goblins. Knows them to a T. He never takes his armor off. As far as we know, he's never removed his armor. Once he's had his armor on, once he armored up, he never took it off. There are some cool parts that I thought were cool, but okay, I've used this weapon. Now I'm no longer using this weapon because apparently, even though it's still usable, it's because of the amount of goblins I've took down. There's so much of this and that it's just it's not usable. Basically, that was a hint of saying is if he kept it, they'd follow him wherever he went. So he would change weapons or get new ones. That's what I thought would be the coolest part. But as dark as it gets, and it's going to get darker, and you might think he's just as cruel to people as to people who are involved on his quests, like the ones that are captured. It's not that. It's not that he's cruel to him. It's just some things just have to be done. And I'm pretty much referring that to the first episode on what you will eventually see for those who have not watched it and who aren't really interested in watching it, but I'm pretty sure you're going to take a look at it anyway because that's kind of how things are. And I'm pretty sure there are going to be people who are going to disagree with what my obviously rating would be of episode 1 of Goblin Slayer. Would be a 9 out of 10 because they nailed it on the head. They wanted to prove something. They wanted to show something. They wanted the viewer, to know how dark this anime is. It's dark horror anime. They wanted to show how dark they can get with an anime, and a bit censored, and a bit how dark they can get even with it censored. Even with it censored, it was pretty much just like what I read in the manga. And I'm only 3 chapters in, and I'm already liking it. It doesn't like like, oh, this guy's a creep because of how dark this anime is. No. Don't think of me in such a harsh way just because I'm starting to like a very dark horror anime. I've seen some that can get a lot worse. A lot worse. And there's only like one scene in there that has so many moments, so many dark moments, but yet I've seen an anime so much more darker, such more brutal, and in a way, such more brutal than that. And I've watched a lot of anime, and I could see the same things in horror movies today. Well, horror movies in the past with things going as cruel as they are in Goblin Slayer. I keep on saying Demon Slayer. Goblin Slayer. It's like they combined, they took some hints and they combined it. Goblin Slayer is a good anime. despite that. Despite its dark stuff, but despite its dark moments, it does have some good to it. Because you get there's something that you get to see later on. A little hint. But nothing more than that. So without getting into too much detail, those are my thoughts on Goblin Slayer Episode 1 and what I think of what Goblin Slayer will be in the future when the next episodes or fewer episodes, whether it's a 12 episode anime or a 24 episode anime. I think it's going to be good. It's not an official review of the episode, but it's pretty much what my thoughts are. So, with that, I will see you guys in the next episode. So, peace.